Hello everybody. In this video we're starting at a Windows 7 login screen so I can show you that there is a genuine Windows hard drive attached to this VM. We are going to be working in a VM, but it's going to be identical process on a real physical machine. We're going to use a tool called TestDisk, and in my humble opinion it is one of the most versatile tools to do data recovery and recover partitions themselves. Go to your favorite search engine and just type TestDisk, all one word. You'll be taken to cgsecurity.org. This is at version 6.12, so it has been around a good long time. This is a very solid product. It says TestDisk is a powerful, free data recovery software. It was primarily designed to help recover lost partitions. Lost partitions are the old stick the drive into a computer and it says drive not formatted, do you want to format now, or operating system not found, and or make non-booting disk bootable again. What this can do is fix partition tables, recovered deleted partitions. So if you start an install and then you decide to stop partway through, this tool will help you get that original data back. On FAT32, it can recover boot sectors from its backup. There's typically a backup on the drive itself of it. It can also rebuild FAT12, FAT16, and FAT32. So that's like Windows 3.1, I believe, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows ME, and possibly Windows XP when it was brand new. It can also fix the file allocation tables in those type of formats. It can also work on NTFS partitions, which is Windows XP, SP1, SP2, SP3, Vista, and Windows 7, and of course Windows Server. This can rebuild the boot sectors, recover the NTFS boot sector from a backup, and it can also fix what's called the master file table, which is like a table of contents inside of that Windows disk. Okay, now how to use TestDisk. Simply go to your favorite search engine again. TestDisk how to will result in another cgsecurity.org site, and it has a step-by-step. And I like this step-by-step because it actually gives you an example of a 36 gigabyte partition that is NTFS, and the boot sector has been damaged, and a second issue of a logical NTFS partition has been accidentally deleted. So it's actually going to fix two things in one swoop. If it's only one or the other, these exact same steps will apply. And what it's going to do, it's going to rewrite the corrupt NTFS boot sector, and it's going to recover an entirely accidentally deleted partition. Scroll down, it gives you some of the keys to hit. The symptoms it says is the drive is not formatted. Do you want to format it now? Needless to say, you should never hit yes. Running TestDisk. It is cross-platform. You can run it in DOS, Windows, Mac, OS2, and Linux. And in Linux, it's saying you should always run it as sudo. So the command should start sudo and then TestDisk. This is like the administrator, the highest account on the computer or root in the Linux world. Okay, so basically it says we just go run sudo and TestDisk. It's going to ask us about a log. We're going to go ahead and hit create. Now let's hop back to here. And it's going to say log creation, choose create. Disk selection is the next one. And this is basically a full list of every possible hard drive and partition on this hard drive that we're going to work on, including it can show duplicate ones when they're damaged or accidentally deleted. In ours, we just see the one hard drive. Go ahead and hit enter. Okay, then it basically goes through the type of partition table. This works on a wide myriad of systems, from Sun computers, Xboxes, Apple devices, EFI, so the higher Macs and the older Macs and all of them. And it looks like Intel should be the default choice, and it in fact is. Wants us to press enter to proceed. Let's go ahead and hit enter. Next screen tells us to go to analyze. Let's go ahead and hit enter. Go ahead and hit enter. This is giving us a brief summary of the partitions on that hard drive, and you see we have a little tiny one here that's a system reserved. That's a Windows 7 partition it uses to restore data, and then there's a bigger partition that's the actual C drive. And it says to go ahead and do a quick search. Go ahead and do a quick search, and we get 2 results back. What they get back is also these same 2 results. Now from here you can hit P to list files, so we can look at them and make sure we're looking at the correct partition. Here in this system reserved, you only see a couple. These are how Windows can repair itself. Come down to this other one and we can clearly see this is in fact the C drive. Here's program files, common files, everything else. Left arrow makes you go back. Pressing enter makes you go forward. Q brings you back out to this menu. Next thing they're saying that we should do is we should ask it to do a deeper scan. Go ahead and hit enter to continue. Deeper scan. Now this process is going to take a while, so I'm just going to stop this process here. Kicks us back to this screen. Now if there was deleted partitions, you would see extra partitions there, not green, with the letter D next to them. From there you can browse those partitions so you can be sure you know what you're looking at is the correct partition, and it does have the correct files on there. You hit P to look at them, enter to go to the directories, left to go back at the directories, and Q to quit and to come back to this screen. Once you figure out which partition is right, you simply have to go to the partition and press the left right arrow to change what kind of partition it is. And then when you're done, you just simply hit edit, enter to proceed. So we're just going to hit enter, and it's going to ask us, do we want to write the changes back to the disk? We have to hit enter, and it's going to basically make sure that we are really wanting to do this. You can see here when there are changes made, it will actually do another level of check on the hard drive. We're going to hit yes. Change will take effect. Next reboot, and it kicks us back to this screen. When it finds more issues, it goes a little bit deeper into it, and it basically will go and try to fix the boot sector on the drive. Successfully recovered, press enter to quit. That's how you can use TestDisk to bring back those drives where it seems like there's no hope of getting the data back, where you can actually tell a customer, you didn't do a backup, but I was still able to get your data back. This is typically a service that places like Geek Squad will charge an easy $150, $180 for. Using free open source tools that have been around for years, you can do this task pretty simply. Now that deeper scan process can take an hour, 2 hours, or more depending on the size of the drive. Don't expect it to go as quick as our demonstration went today. We had a drive that had no errors on it, so it went much quicker. When you're done, you just go down and hit quit, and then go down to the bottom left and you can hit log out, to where then you can restart or shut down the computer. Let's move on to that next video.